So you need to see the long term. Is this going to work out? It's not going to be perfect. No relationship is going to be perfect. But is this one of those relationships where everything is perfect, but those small things are actually big things? Hey guys, Hector Castillo Poppy from girlschase.com. Today I want to talk about when you're in a relationship that is perfect, but there's something still wrong with it. I had a client recently break up with a girl, at least I think he did. I texted him how did it go and he still hasn't responded because it was a tough conversation. One that I predicted a couple months back. This girl was great for him. She was very pretty, cool chick, like she was like a news reporter, like high value chick, comes from a good family, cooks, cleans, sucks his dick, loves to fuck, very pretty, nice, sweet, but he's a little bit more of an introvert and she's very, very high maintenance. Not in like a, you gotta do this for me kind of bitchy way, but like in a, wants to talk a lot, like nonstop talks, wants to hang out a lot. They would, you know, see each other every weekend, but if he didn't specifically set plans, she would get upset. Like, I want to know that you want to hang out with me. You know, it's such a girl thing to say, like, hey, let's hang out. But do you really, I want to know that you really want to hang out. I'm sure you've ran into a girl like that before. It seems nauseous to us men, but to her, she wants to feel that you really do want to spend time with her and she needs that affection. And it wasn't even a girl who, like, you know, she has daddy issues and so she's extra needy for attention. Like, she has a great relationship with her parents. Probably really great. That's why she needs so much attention, because her father is probably a very affectionate presence in her life and always has been. And so her expectation of what a male relationship looks like is built a lot upon her relationship with her father. And so, you know, he probably spent a lot of time with her, and so she expects her man to be that as well. She got a little bit too serious too quick, which is understandable because she is 30, I think, turning 31 soon, or maybe 31 now, and was talking about kids and marriage. Not quite like, let's do it now, and if you don't, you know, I'm gonna get mad, but like, hey, I need to know this is definitely in the cards soon because I'm ready. You know, she'd had a successful career. She's been in college, you know, she kind of did everything. Now she really wants a family. Whereas he is a still budding entrepreneur, somewhat successful, but still not quite where he wants to be. And still feels like maybe he wants to sow his oats and, you know, fuck some more random hot pussy. And have some more toxic relationships before he settles down. But he just doesn't feel ready. And it's hard to tell when you're gonna feel ready. So that'll be part of this video, right? That I'm trying to give you the context for how he felt. And there's gonna be some difficult variables here because it's hard to know like when something is just perfect enough. You know, because it was perfect. So the reason I laid that all out and gave you all the details was because for the most part, he was like, it's great. Like, it's great on paper and in practice, it was great, but it was just a little bit too much. So that's what I mean by it's perfect, but no relationship's gonna be perfect. Even the one that you do decide to settle down with and have a family with, which most of you are going to do, even if you think you're gonna be single forever, it's just a natural consequence of life as a man and as a woman that eventually you're gonna want to settle down. Even if you're a guy who thinks, no, I'm just single, I'm gonna fuck bitches, get money, you know, I'm gonna stay single forever, no, you know, future divorce, no alimony, no bullshit, you're probably gonna settle down. And it's gonna be difficult to know when it's the right relationship, but it should be close to perfect. But there are gonna be relationships, unfortunately, where it was like 99% great, but that 1% that's off has such an effect on your satisfaction with the relationship that you can't do it anymore. And that's what happened with my client, is that it was just too overbearing. And it wasn't even in a toxic way where she would get pissed and like yell or, you know, crazy girl kind of shit. It was just too much. And I predicted this from the beginning just based on her behavior and the way that he told me how she is. But, you know, he wanted to enjoy it. They went on like a vacation together. He met part of her family, and it was just happening too quick. But I told him, I was like, I don't think this is the girl for you. Usually I'm pretty spot on with it, just from experience of coaching so many people and myself having a lot of relationships and figuring out what's right for me. I usually can read a client and read what he wants from girls and how he's feeling about something. But in the moment, he's kind of maybe blinded by the pussy. In some cases with like when there's a toxic girl, not this situation, but sometimes clients will get with toxic girls. They're really hot. Pussy's like fucking crack. But she's got some issues, but he can't see past that emotional filter in front of his eyes. Just a film of lust and attachment and games and jealousy. And he can't see the big picture, but as a coach, that's my job, to see it from an outside, more objective perspective. So I knew that this guy wasn't right for her. And he eventually confirmed it. And then he, you know, I was like, dude, you gotta break up with her. He's like, I know. And he's like, I'm kind of calling you just to get that reinforcement. Because I'm careful. In the past with coaching clients, I used to be much more hardcore. I was like, no man, like don't get with this girl, stay single, you gotta keep grinding, like this is not the girl for you. If it was, I would say it. But I learned that it's very difficult. I think almost every time I failed to tell a guy to break up with a girl before it got too deep, and then he had to get in deep and then see the consequences of it, then come to me and tell me, okay, yeah, you were right. It's kind of satisfying sometimes to be like, fucking told you so, but then I feel bad for him. But it's good he got the experience too. But as a coach, I learned that it was actually the best thing to do is to give a two-choice kind of choice tree, like in an RPG. I'm like, dude, like if you take this road, I'm telling you what's gonna happen. You could take this road where I think is better for you, and you really should listen to me, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. You're a man, and I want you to feel like it was your decision. Because what happened with one client is they did decide to listen to me. It was actually a female client, and I think she was kind of disappointed that it ended earlier than she would have liked. But I was like 99% sure I saved her from a bad situation. But I kind of felt that she might have low-key resented me for kind of pushing her towards that decision, even though I think it was the best decision and it was my job as the coach. You know, kind of like a fitness coach would tell you, don't fucking eat that chocolate cake. I know you want it, but it's probably not a good idea. You know, it's got fucking vanilla, it's got chocolate, it's got everything, and it's just gonna taste amazing, but then in 10 minutes you're gonna feel guilty as fuck, and you're gonna be like, you know, why didn't my coach tell me better? That's how I felt would happen if I didn't give them the, you know, hardcore, like, do this advice. But I learned that it was better to just give them the choices, they choose, and learn later. So that's what I did with him for a while, and I let him just kind of go with it, and then eventually he came back, he's like, yeah, you're right, you know, this isn't the relationship for me. So I gave him the how to break up in a kind way, but a firm way, and how to end it, and kind of pep him up and get him excited for the future. I texted him how it went, and he still hasn't responded, and it's been like a week and a half. So we're gonna see if he followed through. I have no idea. Maybe I'll give you guys an update in the comments. Be like, hey, he's, you know, he's a little bit depressed, but da-da-da. Or maybe he, you know, stuck with the relationship, which would be an unfortunate thing. He's probably watching this video right now as I upload it, because he watches all my videos, as a good client should. So, hey man, if you're still with her, I'm calling you out in front of thousands of people. No, I love you. You're doing great. Okay, so backtracking, right? Perfect relationship, but so there's a few things that you're gonna have to overcome to see the truth of this, right? The first is that no relationship is gonna be perfect. I totally get that. You know, no one's gonna be absolutely perfect. If you're dealing with another human being, there's a 100% chance something about them is gonna annoy you, frustrate you, or piss you off, or just you might not agree with it. But there is gonna be a relationship that is going to be like, okay, all the positives outweigh the negatives. But in my client's situation, the negatives, while they weren't toxic negatives, they were just not comfortable negatives. And it didn't mesh well with his vibe. He was way more introverted and she was way more extroverted, and it wasn't gonna work. And long term, it would have caused more bullshit down the road of her being unhappy, right? So we're doing the other person a favor by breaking up with them because we know that we're gonna cause them pain. Most importantly in this context was she wants kids pretty much soon, and he's not sure, maybe 2, 3, 4 years down the road. And while she's getting close to her biological clock, which she expressed to him, and that might cause some drama. And what if like he decided to not have kids and then they're 35 and she like has a few more years to make a fucking decision, okay? So it's a positive for her. So you need to see the long term Is this going to work out? It's not going to be perfect. No relationship is going to be perfect. But is this one of those relationships where everything is perfect, but those small things are actually big things? And usually they're going to be vibe and goals. Those are going to be just the vibe of the introvert versus the extrovert, and he just can't keep up with this. She always wants to do something. She always wants to go to dinner. She's always going to meet people. She always wants to go on vacations, and it's just a lot. So vibe, that's what I would consider that vibe, you know. And then goals, long-term goals like kids, family. Those are going to be probably the biggest things, but also you might encounter things, you know, maybe you want to travel, she doesn't want to travel, or vice versa. You know, you need to go to this city to get this job, or she needs to go to some city to get a job, and then you don't want to leave, da-da-da. Because I had a different client who had an ex-wife who basically made him move, and he left a job that he really loved, and then that spiraled the relationship. There was other things wrong with it, of course, but that was one of the biggest things, is he gave up the city and job that he loved for the girl that he loved, but then it just caused resentment that eventually came out at the end, and the interest had to be paid, and the relationship wasn't strong enough to pay the interest. So long-term goals and vibe, they need to be in lock. Everything else, the smaller things like your hobbies, your habits, they don't have to line up. I mean, you're probably gonna have a lot of things. You know, I'm a huge gamer. I like to sit around and play games a lot. So I need a girl who is okay with just sitting at home a lot, not needing to go other places, because I like to just have my alone time, play games, read a book, you know, do videos, occasionally upload videos, talk to clients, and I really just don't like to do that much. I'm a pretty sedentary person outside of occasional, let's go out and, you know, get dinner, or, you know, maybe we'll go on a vacation once a year or once every 2 years. So I need a girl who's okay with that, but she doesn't necessarily have to do what I do, even though it's obviously better if we are kind of homebodies, right? But the two biggest things is your vibes gotta line up and your long-term goals. Okay, so not every relationship is gonna be perfect. You have to have those two things in line. And then obviously physical attraction and chemistry and all that stuff. But I'm talking about like the thing that'll break the relationship, where it's great, but. And then the third is something that was hard for him, and I saw through it. He's like, I don't want to have to go date again. He's like, I really don't want to have to go fucking date again. He's like, I had a lot of fun. I was fucking girls. It was great. And he's in a relationship and he's thinking about other girls, you know, and he's like, fuck, you know, I had to stay off Instagram. I have to stay off TikTok, you know, because I'll just see like fat ass, beautiful, you know, tits, nice lips, and I'll just, you know, I'll get horny and I want to fuck these girls. So he had to like sequester himself and restrain himself from these temptations. So he had the desire to fuck girls, but he had been through the game, you know, he's now at like 30-something lays, so he's fairly successful with girls. But he's just like, God damn it, you know, it's such a chore to do it. And for him, it was like a part-time job. And if you want to fuck a lot of girls, it's going to take a lot of time. You know, there's not a lot of guys out there who can just order pussy. And he was doing mostly online dating, which I think was actually his flaw. I think he disliked dating because he was meeting girls on apps and then meeting them, and there wasn't that initial chemistry. Like, he knew exactly how their vibe was, how they looked in person, because he was meeting them online rather than cold approaching, right? So he's one of my clients who, like, I've probably mentioned him in other videos where I was like, I literally could not convince this motherfucker to do a cold approach for the life of me. No matter how hard I tried, it was always girls from dating apps. Did it successfully, but still, the quality and quantity. This girlfriend actually wasn't technically from a dating app. He messaged her randomly on Instagram. Like, he just came across her on Instagram and thought she was hot and messaged her and blossomed. And, you know, he got with a really cool, hot chick who's very high value, like a news reporter kind of chick. So it was, I guess, a half cold approach, you know, but I needed him to get out there, right? And I needed to motivate him to not see the dating as a chore. And I think that cold approaching is going to help him. And I told him, I was like, dude, I think you're going to enjoy it more when you're actually out meeting them and getting their essence, and you're feeling their sexuality, and you're there with them, and it's more physical and more real than just swiping. That's probably why it felt so lifeless. But maybe some of you haven't been cold approaching, but also haven't been, you know, that successful in general with women, but you found some girl who it's really great, but you still feel stuck. It's perfect, but, right? And you know deep inside you shouldn't be with her, and it's not right for you, and it's not right for her either, because if it's not right for you, then it's definitely not right for her. but you don't have any success to go off of. At least he had some sort of success and he knows he can get pussy, but maybe you're kind of, you don't have abundance. It's going to be harder to convince you to get out and start approaching girls when you have a relationship, like you have sex and it's, maybe she's cute or maybe she's not. If she's less attractive, then that can help motivate you. As douchey as that sounds, like, look, man, like, look at those girls on Instagram. Like, you can find those girls in real life. They're walking around in fucking most cities in the world, and some of them are single. And if you do enough work and if you approach enough of them and you learn game, you can get with them. So you got to motivate yourself with lust. You got to motivate yourself with your long-term goals. Like, this girl's great, been dating her for years or months or whatever, and it's great, but look to an imaginary future real girl, use your imagination, and think like you could be with a girl who you really love and are really attracted to, right? So motivate yourself with romance, like a girl who's going to be your best friend, your partner, your wife, the mother of your children. Like, romanticize about it, or use sexuality, or both, of course. Like, some girl you're going to love fucking, who just turns you on, and you love being around her, you love fucking her, you love kissing her. And so use this base primal feelings of lust, but also more conceptual romantic notions to push yourself to see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But thirdly, with this third point, see the game as fun. Like, it should be fun. There is going to be an element of work to it. Like, you're going to have to be approaching a certain amount of women, unless you just get exceptionally lucky or you have an exceptional, like, radar and taste, and you know exactly which girls you want to go for, and you can tell when they're interested and when they're not interested, which is a skill that you have to learn. But you need to see that it's a fun game, even though there is going to be work involved. You should enjoy going out. Like, if you think about it, it's kind of strange that I would have clients who, fortunately, but through their hard work, have the financial situation to live comfortably, but also have enough free time to go out and approach women. Like, I have one friend who's like very successful, but he still sees approaching girls as a chore, as a job, and he's getting frustrated because he's not getting that much success. And one of his biggest things is he kind of has an angry vibe. Like, it's not apparent, it's like a very like underneath, but you can feel it, but you're not quite sure what it is, but it's an anger, bitterness thing. And he doesn't have fun when he's out approaching girls. But when I'm with him, I think I kind of help push him towards that angle. And I told him that's a huge thing he needs to work on, is that he needs to see this as a fun adventure. It's going to take time. It's going to take emotions. There's going to be shitty parts. There's going to be great parts. But it's a game, and you're out talking to women, okay? That's how you need to be seeing it. Like, dude, like, you have the blessing to be able to go out and talk to beautiful women and spend your time doing that. Like, it's fucking awesome. Like, I mean, sometimes I'd get, whatever, bitter or upset with women, disappointed, sad, rejected, and then have great times. But whenever I would catch myself getting a little bit, I would go, wait a second, motherfucker. You are blessed to make a living off of dating, fucking, talking to, seducing, spending time with beautiful women. And not only do you make a living doing it, you are doing that thing, which is talking and fucking and licking and kissing and doing crazy shit with beautiful women. Like, it's fucking awesome. Like, I can't think of many more things that are more fun than that. So you need to realize what the fuck you're doing. You're spending time with beautiful women. You're approaching them. You're talking to them. You're kissing them. You're sticking your dick down their fucking throat and their pussy in their ass. Like, this is fun. This is enjoyable. So enjoy the dating game. So if you're in a relationship, that's perfect, but there's some things that may be minor, but because they're important to you, they actually are major, even though on the surface and on paper, it seems like everything's perfect. If you're in that kind of relationship and you need to get out, you need to get out. You need to break up with her. You have to do what's best for you. You have to do what's best for her. And you need to look towards the future and be motivated that there is a future with a better girl or better girls. Or maybe you just want to have fun for a while and just have some pussy and have some toxic ass casual relationships or healthy casual relationships and go out and have fun. But then in the future, you're building your skills, building your taste, you're honing your instincts and your hunger for eventually when you find that girl who is perfect, and she really is perfect. Even though no relationship is perfect, it's perfect for you. So get out there, break up with your girl. I should make a video on how to break up with a girl. It's obviously a very sensitive, very touchy, lots of sad emotions, and you're gonna feel bad doing it. But there are ways to do it right. So I should make a video on that, which I will, actually, after this. So yeah, break up with her. It's gonna suck. I'm laughing right now because from my perspective now, I can look back on when I did it and it's kind of funny. But in the moment, you know, when I was getting broken up with or they were getting dumped, it sucked. I get it. But I can laugh about it, so you can laugh about it in the future, looking back on the fun adventures that you had with beautiful women. And then look forward to the future with the better futures that you have with more beautiful, more sexy, more interesting, more compatible women that will be in your bed or in your life or the mother of your children and in your family. So yeah, maybe perfect, but there's something wrong with it. You gotta let it go and move on to better things. And I hope this video can help inspire you to avoid these situations and get out of the relationships before you get to this moment where you're kind of deep and now it's gonna hurt even more and you cut it before it gets there, saving both of you a lot of pain. Or if you're in that situation, I can motivate you to get out of it now and go towards a better future. Okay. Hector Castillo, Poppy from girlshakes.com. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell. I love you. Hope you have a great day. Ciao.